Since Valheim topped the Steam rankings, everyone has been seeking for Valheim or games like Valheim. In this video, I will show you some best games like Valheim. So without any further ado, let's start this video. The first game of this video is Assassin's Creed Valhalla. If you like the Viking story of Valheim, you'll fall in love with Assassin's Creed Valhalla. It's the most Valheim-like experience since you'll be confronted with comparable mythological monsters and a deep-lying narrative of a Viking who leaves his homeland and travels to England. When you combine that with a mystery that relates contemporary events, you get a great combination of action-adventure with a splash of history thrown in for good measure. Next up we have The Forest. After surviving an aircraft crash, you must ensure that you not only keep yourself alive, but also take out cannibals, and the game's survival mechanics are quite similar to Valheim. This is one of the finest games like Valheim since you're left alone, and there's danger everywhere. But to those to dare to hope, there's always a way out of every situation, and with stealth and planning, you will be able to defeat the biggest of the foes in the forest. Make sure to give this wonderful game a look if you wish for a similar survival adventure like Valheim. Next up we have Ancestors: The Humankind Odyssey. Ancestors: The Humankind Odyssey takes things a step further by placing you at a time when humankind began to emerge and distinguish itself from apes, much like Valheim did. This game has comparable survival aspects without the Viking appeal, but it does provide a larger view on humanity's early history and where we are now. Next up we have Smalland. What happens if you're shrunk to the size of an ant and forced to fend for yourself? That's exactly what the game's creators imagined and included as a concept. Another fantastic survival game with a variety of features and tiny objects to keep you interested. Make use of everything that formerly seemed insignificant, but find a new universe that exists within our own, only not in front of our eyes. Next up we have Conan Exiles. Conan Exiles isn't a new game, but it's one of the most popular. It's an open-world multiplayer survival game. You may play with friends, gather resources, and build a base to defend oneself from the elements, much as in Valheim. You may also play online with strangers, form clans, and take control of the exiled lands. Next up we have Outward. Outward is another open-world RPG worth checking out. You will travel through the regions of Ori in this game. The game, however, isn't just about exploration, it's also a survival game. You must guarantee that you can defend yourself against predators in the wild while also ensuring that you have shelter, food, and water, among other things. Next up we have Rust. Rust is another game similar to Valheim that I suggest. Your main goal in Rust is to stay alive. You'll have to fight hunger, thirst, and the cold. You may slaughter animals, construct your base, and form alliances with other players to improve your chances of survival, exactly like Valheim. Next up we have The Long Dark. The Long Dark is a game in which you play as a pilot who crashes into the Canadian wilderness after seeing a mysterious flash of light. There is a story mode in the game for those who want to go through the whole, riveting plot. The game does, however, provide a sandbox experience for survival fans. To add to the intrigue, The Long Dark employs the notion of permadeath, which means that if you die in the game, your save data are erased. Next up we have Grounded. This one isn't as comparable to Valheim as far as the location and main idea of the game are concerned, but it does include similar survival and adventure aspects. If you've ever watched the movie Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, you'll recognize this game as a video game version. You're reduced down to the size of an ant in a backyard in Grounded. You must, like Valheim, explore, create, and live, as well as protect yourself from insects. The last game of this video is Dismantle. Dismantle is a post-apocalyptic survival game in which you play as the sole human survivor in a world controlled by nefarious monsters. You may explore the open world, fight monsters, claim land for your base, create weapons, armor, and trinkets, and more. As long as you have the appropriate tools, you can shatter 99% of all things in the world and collect resources to improve your chances of survival. So that's the list of 10 best games like Valheim to play right now on PC. If you enjoy this video, hit the like button and subscribe to my channel Games Puff and press the bell icon for more gaming updates.